have a mountain of chips in front of me and look down at pocket aces. My opponent puts me all in. Let's back it up. I'm playing poker to pay my bills. After 1 week, I'm down over $500, but that could all change after just one single session. I'm halfway through the month, and I'm only on my third session. I really need to book a big win today if I want to have any chance at completing this challenge. The game I'm playing in today is the same game I played in last week when I lost $3,000. I feel like such an idiot right now. I lost $3,000. But this week, it's a completely different game. The action is amazing. Let me show you what I mean. Early in the session, I get dealt King 10 offsuit on the button straddle, and I have ultimate last action. There's a raise to 15 from the cutoff, and the blinds both call. My hand's not that strong, but the cutoff can be opening really wide, and both players in the blinds can't be that strong when they just call. This feels like a perfect spot to squeeze. I make it $90. Now the small blind jams for nearly $600, and the cutoff calls. I fold. The small blind had ace-jack offsuit, so y'all get my point. The action's good. It's still early in the session when I lay down an ace-queen in middle position. I 3-bet pre-flop and get it heads up. I completely whiff everything. I attempt a small bluff on the turn and get check raised. I fold. I'm already down $250. But 30 minutes later, I pick up pocket kings. The $10 straddle is on and I open to 30. The player to my left calls, but now the player next to act 3-bets to $130. It folds back around to me. I have just over $700 in my stack, and the player who 3-bet me has around $500 in his stack. So I thought. He actually has closer to $700 as well, but I didn't realize that. Now this guy doesn't like to fold, and there's a good chance he has a big hand. If he does, he's never folding to a jam. So I decide to go all in. We fade the snap call, which means he doesn't have aces. I'm rooting for a call. After tanking for only 15 seconds, he puts in the call. We're running it twice. The first board comes jack high with all low cards. The second board is a little more concerning. But when I show the kings, he takes his time before showing pocket eights. So we get called super light and scoop a massive pot. I'm up over $400 now. Literally 4 hands later, I play the craziest hand of this entire session, and I can't make this up. Well, I mean I could, but I'm not. Anyways, I have pocket 2s in the cutoff. There's a raise to 20 from middle position. I call and so do 3 other players. We're going 5 ways to a flop. And we flop bottom set, the dream scenario on an ace-high board. Action checks to me. I decide to set the trap and check. We're still 5 ways to a turn. The turn is another ace, giving me a full house, but more importantly, it might have given one of my opponent's trips. It checks to the initial raiser, and he bets 50. I'm in position, and if he has an ace, he's definitely betting the river, and I can put in the raise then. So I decide to just call. The other players all fold, so now we're heads up. The river is legitimately the best card in the entire deck. It's another deuce, giving me quads. And now an ace makes a full house. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like my opponent has an ace because he checks it to me. I still have to go for max value and just hope he was trying to trap me. I jam all in for his remaining $240, and he snap calls.
Squats.
Holy shit.
He chose ace-5 for a full house, which is no good because I have quads. I take down another big pot, and my stack is just under $2,000 now. At this point in my session, I'm up nearly $1,000 and I'm having a blast. Mainly because I'm winning money, but also because I haven't gotten myself into any tough spots, so it's just been smooth sailing. But then I played this hand. I look down at 7-4 of diamonds on the button straddle. This hand isn't a good hand, but when 3 people call a $20 raise, I think I can justify making the call. So that's what I do. And why do you play trash hands? Well, because when the flop is trash, you end up with 2 pair. Action checks all the way to me. And honestly, I'm good with just winning this pot right here on the flop. So I bet the size of the pot for $100. This should get the job done, but obviously it does not. Not 1, but 2 players put in the call. Not what I had in mind. The turn is a 10 of clubs, and once again, action checks to me. I got the feeling that someone might be slow playing a set or even a flop straight. So I decided to slow down and check. We're still 3 ways to a river, and it's an offsuit deuce. Shouldn't have changed anything. but now the hijack leads out for $400. The other player folds, and now I have a decision to make. My hand is basically just a bluff catcher at this point. On one hand, he could have a set or even a hand like 9-8 of hearts that turned to straight and was going for the check raise. But he could also just have missed hearts. But that's really all I beat. I haven't seen this player bluff at all tonight, but my gut's just telling me he doesn't have it here. So after tanking for almost a full minute, I put in the call. He immediately tells me I'm good and shows the missed nut flush draw. In the span of 45 minutes, my stack goes from this to this. An absolute mountain of chips. I played for another hour or two and actually picked up some premium hands, but didn't really play any big pots with them. I basically break even for the next 2 hours, and after playing for around 5 hours, I rack up and book a win of over $1,200.
Come on! Obviously, we're barely up in Season 3. We played 4 sessions. I think I'm up like $750, but compared to the other 2 seasons, at this point, we'd be down like 4,000. So, huge turnaround. We're absolutely dialed right now. I have a session planned on Thursday. I'll see y'all then.
I've been getting coaching for almost a month now. If it weren't for me punting $3,000 the other week, my results would actually be really good. But sometimes, you gotta learn the hard way.
We are off to a very hot start today. It started off with me going to get a big drink at the gas station, and the dude said, you know what, just take it for free. So I'm like, wow, I'm already running hot and I haven't even hit the felt. But then, literally a whole pond could literally get a straw and drink out of this. What are we talking about? I think I just got some run bat out. Anyways, I'm still 45 minutes away from the fort. I'll see y'all when I get there.
I'm back at the fort for my 5th session of the month. I buy in for $1,000 and I get a small bluff through in my very first hand being dealt. My second hand being dealt, I look down at pocket 8s. I open and get 3-bet by this gentleman who apparently loves grapes. I can't say I've ever seen anybody eat grapes at the table, but to each its own. I end up folding and he shows me pocket kings. Now the only reason I included that hand is because I'm about to play multiple big pots against this opponent. I'm still in my first orbit when I look down at pocket aces. I make it 20 to go. The player I just told y'all about calls, and so do 2 other players behind him. The flop comes deuce, deuce, jack. I c-bet for $35, and now this guy raises me to 75. The other 2 players get out of the way. I really think this guy just has a hand like king jack, and if that's the case, I have him in horrible shape. I just call. The turn is an offsuit 5, and I check it over to him. Now he bets $25. I have no idea what this means, but I think I gotta put more money in the middle. I raise to 160. Now he thinks about it for 10 seconds before going all in. Unless he has a hand like ace deuce suited or somehow pocket 5s, I should almost always be good here. I rule out him having pocket jacks because he didn't 3-bet pre-flop. So really, there's only 2 hands I'm worried about, but I don't give it too much thought before calling for my remaining $800. This pot is over $2,000. If I win, I'll be up over $1,000 within my first 10 minutes of sitting down. And if I lose, I'll be down $1,000. The river comes a 3. And he shows deuce 5 offsuit. So obviously I completely forgot about deuce 5 offsuit, which is a clear call in middle position, and I pay the price with my entire stack. I'm down $1,000, so I reload for another $1,000. And the worst part is I have to look directly at all of my chips because they're all in this guy's stack right in front of me. But that's not the last time this guy would own me. A few minutes after I rebuy, I pick up jack 10 in late position. I open to 20 and the same guy 3-bets me to 75. I want to get my chips back, so I call. I whiff the flop, but turn a double gutter. He bet 75, I call, and we brick the river. Action goes check, check, and he shows 3-4 offsuit for a pair of 3s. So now he's 3-betting garbage, and I'm officially on tilt. So I decide to move seats, and as soon as I do that, he starts racking up his chips, which are basically all mine. But he said he's playing a few more hands before he leaves, and that's when this happens. I look down at king 6 of spades in middle position to make it 15 to go. Phil Ivey grabs some chips out of the rack and 3-bets me to 60. Now the small blind cold calls to 60, and now I'm in a spot. On one hand, I can't get my money back from this guy if I fold. But on the other hand, my hand's pretty bad. So calling seems stupid. But there is a third option. We've already seen this guy 3-bet with 3-4 offsuit, and the small blind can't be that strong when he just calls. Now, I was the one who originally opened, so I can have aces, kings, queens, you name it. And I block my opponents from having kings and pocket 6s. So for all those reasons, I decide to 4-bet. I make it $270. What happens next is crazy. Our arch nemesis calls, and so does the small blind. We're playing a multi-way 4-bet pot, and I have trash. We need so much help, and that's what we get. Kinda. The flop is ace 5-8 with 2 spades. We have the nut flush draw. The small blind checks, and it's on me. I really don't think either player has an ace, but even if they do, we have outs. So I jam for $650 effective. Our arch nemesis snap folds, but the small blind doesn't. He's in the tank for what felt like 38 hours. But realistically, it was probably like 15 seconds. And then he folds. We take down nearly $500 of profit with king high. And now I'm halfway out of the hole. For the next 3 hours, nothing interesting happens. I win a bunch of small pots by just playing aggressive pre-flop and c-betting. But I also lose some small to medium pots, so I'm still in the hole around $600. But the session's not over. I make one last push to get out of the hole, and it all happens in the last hour of my session. I take down a bunch of small pots by 3-betting and 4-betting pre-flop, and I'm slowly chipping up. And then I look down at pocket fives. Open to 15 from under the gun and get called by the player to my left and the button. We're 3 ways to a flop, and I flop middle set. I c-bet for 15, and the player to my left immediately reaches for raising chips and makes it 60. The button folds, and now I have a decision to make. I really think this guy just has top pair, so as long as it turns a brick, I can go for the check raise on the turn. So I decide to just call. The turn is not a brick. It's the ace of clubs, completing the front door flush and potentially killing my action if this guy just has a queen. I check it over to him and he snap bets $75. There's a chance he could have a set of twos, but he could also have a hand like king queen of clubs. Either way, my hand's too strong to fold. I put in the call. The river's a 6 of diamonds and I check again. This time, he checks it back and shows queen 10 offsuit. Not what I was expecting, but I'll take it. Now somehow I'm still in the hole, but I play one last hand before I rack up and call it a night. I look down at king jack of diamonds in the small blind. I make it 20, the big blind calls, and so do 2 limpers. So as usual, we're going 13 ways to a flop, and we flop a flush draw. I started with the check, and the player that I just beat in that last hand bets $30. I call and the other players fold. So once again, we're heads up against the same opponent, and the turn is amazing. It's the 6 of diamonds giving me a king high flush. I check again, just hoping he bets, but he doesn't take the bait. He checks it back. The river's a king. Now it shouldn't have changed anything, but there is a slim chance it could have improved my opponent to top pair if he was just stabbing with 2 overs on the flop. Now I played against this opponent quite a bit, and the one thing I've noticed is he's a sticky player and he hates folding. So I lead out and bet $125, just over pot. He doesn't snap fold, which means he's got something here. He tanks for around 20 seconds and calls. I show the flush and we're good. Now I have a tower of chips in front of me, but the final results are gonna surprise you.
Thank you. Here are the results. In the game for $2,000, unfortunately, because I got whacked with aces right off the bat, but it doesn't matter because I locked in and I cashed out for $1,908. I lost 92 bucks. That's a win. That's a win if you ask me. We're still in the green for the season. I thought this was a session where we give it all away and we lose $10,000, but that's not till next week. So until then, shut your mouth, stay locked in. Peace.